Hi, I'm James Schillinglaw. I'm here with Helen McCabe-Young, who is the Senior Vice President Marketing for Virtuoso. And we're here live, so to speak, at the Virtuoso Travel Week at the Bellagio in Las Vegas. First one in 2 years. So we're taking this opportunity to talk to a lot of Virtuoso executives about the group, what's going on. And in this case, Helen's going to tell us all about marketing and what's going on at Virtuoso. And you'll find out about that and more on Insider Travel Report. Now, Helen, first of all, it was 2 years ago that you and I were at dinner together, and you were not part of Virtuoso. And then about roughly a year, a little later, you joined Virtuoso as head of marketing. First of all, I got to say congratulations, because we have not seen each other in person since then.
I know, right? Well, first of all, thank you, and it's good to see you in person and live here in Las Vegas.
Live in Las Vegas.
Yeah, and I appreciate you having me today to have a little chat about Virtuoso and the brand and marketing, and hopefully you've had a great week.
It's been a great week. It's been a smaller conference, but some people like that, and I've had a lot of meetings. I wouldn't have noticed, to be honest with you, except it was about twice the size, 3 times the size last time, and it's been a great event because it has been literally the first big event, right?
First big event, and you're seeing half the audience because the other half of the audience is beaming in virtually. So there are a whole lot of appointments going on. I think over 81,000 between the virtual audience and the live audience here. So there's a lot of business getting done, but we're also pretty happy to see people, and for those who are wearing the green wristbands, that means you're huggable. We get to give each other a little hug too. So
wait, let's talk a little bit about marketing. What's going on? You've introduced some programs, you've improved some programs, and one of the first ones, I know it's dear to Matthew Upchurch's heart, is Wanderlist, which has been around for about 3 years. But first of all, tell us what Wanderlist is, and then how you've worked in the last few months to really improve it and integrate it into the Virtuoso community.
Sure. Well, first of all, Matthew's enthusiasm for Wanderlist is infectious, and it's infected me. So I'm pretty enthusiastic too. Wanderlist is really an engagement tool, and it's a dreaming opportunity for travelers and their advisors to create, your basically your bucket list, which can become your
travel dreams. Right?
Your travel dreams, and you can, select a lot of experiences that our partners have put together, our advisors have put together from our content. But you can also bring in anything that you find anywhere on the internet. If you want to grab a URL and plug it into your Wanderlist, you can store all of these travel dreams that you have. Share that with your friends, your family members, those people that you really want to travel with. And so it's really become it's a viral, social opportunity to create your travel dreams with those you love the most, and also to connect with your advisor who can make them a reality. We're finding some really, really innovative uses of Wanderlist that advisors are starting to do, and we're learning from them. We've had advisors who are working with clients. There was a couple that wanted to take a honeymoon, had no idea where they wanted to go, what they wanted to do. So one of our very clever advisors introduced them to Wanderlist, and they put together some ideas of some things they wanted to do, dreaming of opportunities that created their honeymoon ideal, and shared that back with the advisor who introduced them to it. And the advisor was able to get an idea of what their dreams and likes were, and booked their honeymoon. And so it also creates an opportunity to get in front of trips that you might be thinking about. It's on my bucket list. I'm not sure maybe when I'm going to take it, or I kind of think I want to do that in 2 years' time, and start to collect those. And then you have an advisor who can really bring it home for you and add to that. It's pretty amazing what we're seeing happen and how quickly now it's gaining traction. But it's a wonderful opportunity for our advisors as a tool. But we're also finding that our travelers, our consumers, are they're having fun.
Well, that's it. Matthew Epter said to me earlier, that it's supposed to make travel fun again, that you're supposed to be able to enjoy thinking and dreaming about travel and kind of putting together. And the other thing it does is, of course, it kind of ties, as you said, the advisor to the client. And his mantra for years has been, you book travel for life. That you're trying to get all of the travel from your client, starting in honeymoons and then moving on forward and what they want to accomplish and where they want to go, right?
Exactly. And I've heard Matthew say, I won't say it quite as eloquently as he does perhaps, but so many people have a financial advisor and they plan their finances, their future, their retirement, whatnot. What Wanderlist allows you to do is really plan your future travel.
Right.
And, for virtuosos, whether you're already in the Virtuoso network using an advisor or not, it just provides that opportunity to plan your return on life. Mm-hmm. You've got time, it's precious. How do you make the most of that and plan that? Rather than thinking of one trip at a time, this allows you to dream into the future. And one thing that we're seeing too, just on the the commercial side of it, is that what we've got in terms of trips that people have put together, that they're starting to dream about, and sharing with their advisors. We've got a pipeline that's got a value of about 110 million of future travel.
Oh, right.
And we're also able to see where people are going to be interested in going, whether that's Italy or Greece or, South Africa, safari, whatever. We're able to see what the future may look like. And the more who are using it creates a pretty significant audience. And in the aggregate, we'll be able to, look at what the future trends are going to be, absolutely. And also look at experiences based on that we might be able to help, create, working with our network of incredible partners and members to deliver in the future based on what our travelers and consumers are thinking about in terms of future travel.
And I understand roughly 3,000 travel advisors have been actively using it.
3,000 actively using it now. Our partner content that's in there now has been saved to more than 55,000 lists by travelers and their advisors so far. So we're starting to see some good traction. And just here at Virtuoso Travel Week, we're rolling out now a new marketing toolkit.
So it looks a marketing toolkit for advisors, and you're rolling out kind of internal marketing materials to get them interested. A new logo, I think, for Wanderlist. Yes. A lot of different things to kind of get them excited and get them using it, right?
That's exactly right. We did just rebrand Wanderlist and put the marketing toolkit together, starting with advisors. It gives advisors an easy way to reach out to their existing clients or prospects and introduce them to Wanderlist. One of our headlines is because dreams have places to go. So it's collect your travel dreams, obviously, in Wanderlist, but then go, with your advisor. So that's right. We've got ads. We've got a lot of social media posts ready to go, email templates, with pre-baked, language, but you can also customize them, yourself. And we've got a little, splashy video that they can use as well, just to kind of get people engaged.
That was the thing I said. Now the next step is to reach out to consumers and get them interested in it as well, that they want to create their dreams and then affiliate, and work with a Virtuoso advisor, right?
That's exactly right. Wanderlist, like Virtuoso.com, is really come together now. We've integrated the two, so all that content that we have with amazing travel dream inspiration can be saved to your Wanderlist with just a quick click to the heart. But we do want to get travelers, engaged as well. So at some point in time, we'll start to, do social campaigns and things like that, which will always point to an advisor. So if somebody's coming into the world of Virtuoso content through Wanderlist or through Virtuoso.com, and they get excited about what they see, which is the idea with the content, they will have the ability to easily, find an advisor that suits them We have reviews and recommendations that live on the
I
site.
think you renewed that program too, with reviews and recommendations on your travel advisors, right?
That's right. And we know that reviews are really important. In fact, the number one thing I think in terms of a traveler looking for an advisor, they're reading reviews. So it's the members, it's the advisors who really deliver the dreams. We are instigating and collaborating and connecting people to the right individuals and the right professionals who can really make their dreams come true. And it's exciting. This is if you know me at all, I get really excited. I keep telling everybody, watch this space. This thing is really starting to fly. And we've also seen some really interesting, clever uses from some of our partners are starting to really tap into it as well. We had a clever person from one of our hotel partners create lists of things you could do in the city of her hotel, shared them out with advisors. Advisors then in turn shared those things out with their clients. So we're seeing a lot of really interesting traction.
Yeah, well, or you're getting a lot more engagement with partners and with suppliers, and partner suppliers, and then the clients, and of course the travel advisors, right?
Exactly. Listen, it's all linked together. It's we as Virtuoso are looking to engage consumers for the benefit of course, the consumer, the traveler, but also for the benefit of our members and our partners. And so that's our focus, is get them to our advisors and get them to our partners' experiences, which, as you know, through years of knowing Matthew, is a very highly curated and highly engaged network that collaborates with each other, and that personal connection that we see between advisors and our partners, it matters, and it shows up in the traveler's experience. It's the way they feel when they arrive, where they're going. They're treated as virtuosos. So it's felt.
No, absolutely, and it's what. So finally, we've been talking about this for 3 years. It sounds like this is all kind of coming together. So that's the good thing. Now, beyond Wanderlist, you're doing some of the more traditional marketing tasks. I know that. One big thing is you probably don't notice it too much, but you've made a few changes to the Virtuoso logo, right?
Definitely. Listen, the Virtuoso brand name has been with us for 20 years.
I know. I was there when it was created.
And by some very talented people, but. It being 20 years old needed a little bit of a refresh. In part, the impetus is, we're living in a digital world now, and the logo was created originally when print was king. So we wanted to do some things that made it a little sharper in a digital environment, and also took the opportunity to change the color scheme out a little bit. It's a little bit more blue tones now, and just add a little elegance and sophistication to it for the times that we're in. And it's a little bit of a signal, I think, coming out of COVID especially, as to it's a fresh new look, but it's still maintaining the integrity and the equity that we've had in the brand and the identity. So it's still recognizable. We didn't blow up the logo and redesign it for design's sake. Really wanted to leverage the equity in it and the recognition in it, but to just freshen it up for the future.
Well, I need to get that logo from you, because we're, as you know, all online now, and it's you have a good logo, but I think the new one's going to show up a little better online.
Yeah, it is, and we're getting good feedback from the network. People like it. They like the change. They like to see it. The other thing that we did is, when I joined, I was asked to really look at how do we communicate our brand, and what do we stand for? Who are we for? Why do we exist? Just not to blow anything up and redo it for redoing its sake, but how do we take the strength that has been built through the years, and how do we make sure we've got real focus, and that focus is really pretty uniform around the world, but also adaptable to the different regions that we're working in globally. You've got to be relevant in those markets. So I spent considerable time both internally. We did a number of workshops throughout the Virtuoso teams around the world, and also extended that work out to the network to get their feedback, looked at a lot of consumer insights, and really came as all great brands, it lives inside. The who you are lives inside. You just need to kind of pull it out and be able to crystallize the way we articulate it. But through a lot of those conversations and workshops, where we really came to feel really good and really confident about this brand, is that we all really believe that meaningful travel does deliver a higher return on life, sure. And that conscious travel in the future especially is a force for good. We've had a long history in the space of sustainability. You've heard Jessica and Matthew have been really
working for many years now.
Many years, and one of the things that through these workshops I was able to kind of dig out from the organization is that was really time to bring that, what was already a key focus, but to bring it front and center. That's why, in the sort of statement that, this is our why, we've brought that idea of conscious travel as a force for good front and center. And you've seen that probably here, at Virtuoso Travel Week, even in our opening session, no longer, something that we're talking about, on its own, but it's very central to this brand. And we're at a time where people have had a lot of time to think over
Absolutely.
COVID.
No, absolutely.
What's important to you? And we're seeing the consumer trends in terms of people, they want to know that, where they're spending their money is going to places that, that they're doing good things. And so, we decided to just make that a central part of our brand messaging.
As we emerge from COVID, I once said, how can we think about emerging from COVID and still remember about sustainability? But it's sort of become, fortunately, a one process. People are really refocusing on sustainability as we emerge from COVID. So I was worried that it wouldn't happen, but I think it is. It's certainly happening with Virtuoso, that's for sure.
Absolutely, and I think, our position too is, meet people where they are, and everybody can do even the smallest of things. If everybody even does one small thing, it adds up to big things. It's not about trying to, boil the whole ocean, if you will, and try to get to perfection and what is our big story. Sometimes it can be smaller stories and smaller steps, but, really encouraging our network and those we influence to do something, do what you can.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know there's a white paper on sustainability that was released before, and I know that is Jessica Upchurch, Matthew's wife, has really been leading that leading that effort to really refocus on sustainability, which has always been something of interest. But in a few years ago, they really started, and now you're doing it even more. Let's talk a little bit about some other initiatives. Traditionally, you have this best of the best it's basically a hotel directory, I believe. You're making some changes with that and how it's delivered, right?
Absolutely. Listen, we were previously printing a very thick book that was sent out.
I would get that, and I bring it home, and then it's sitting on my bookshelf. and I know, look through it. Yeah, I do look through it, but there are other ways to do this, right?
Well, exactly. And what happened is, obviously with COVID, we had hotels, opening, closing, partially open, there was a lot of movement in those early days when we typically would print the book, I'll call it. And it was always well received. People looked forward to it. A lot of people would reference it, keep it on their bookshelf and look through for where they wanted to go. But we started to examine that with the product team, and we're asking ourselves, what might we be able to do? What would be relevant for the times? How can we serve our partners? How can we serve the traveler, the clients of our advisors best, in these times? And as we journeyed down that path of examining, does it really need to be print? No, we live in a digital world. People still like print. It's not,
No, it is a nice piece. It is. It always has been a nice piece, but there are definitely other ways you can do it. And if I could see all that stuff online as well, it'd be just as good.
Yeah. So we created a best of the best in our digital space on virtuoso.com. And what that did is it opened up a whole new world, because now our hotel partners could, put video in. They could provide what we were able to print in a small space was limited. What the information we're able to highlight digitally is much more robust and beautiful. And so we also said, okay, print still is a point of engagement for some people. We did do a smaller, direct mail piece, really designed to let some of those travelers who are more accustomed to print know that this existed, and we put a QR code in there. Okay. So this was our first test, really, of how can we bring print to life through digital with the QR code, and we were really pleased with the results because we ended up driving over 1,300 visits to the co-branded sites of Best of the Best. Our advisors and members have their own branded version of Virtuoso.com with Best of the Best. So the QR code was each one that went to that member's list was specifically coded to go to their co-branded site. Okay. So they got the traffic to that co-branded site.
They noticed it.
And they noticed it, and we could see it. So the numbers really popped for Best of the Best Digital. Now we know who's looking, right? Before you send the book, which was beautiful, but you said it ended up on your bookshelf. Some people dog ear it, rip the pages out, take it into their advisor, but now we can see them looking digitally, which is great.
No, that's fantastic, and it's trackable, absolutely. You've also done some other things. You've revamped a little bit more the Virtuoso.com website, done some things to that. What have you done with the website?
Well, we did, revamp it some time ago to make it more consumer friendly, more traveler friendly. We've got content on there that's really beautiful and engaging for the traveler as well as the advisor. Our network of advisors can basically take a copy paste a URL, put that into their own communications, and it comes back to their branded site. But Best of the Best was a big initiative going forward because Best of the Best, the hotel area, has been so successful, and we've seen such increases in traffic. We're in the fall going to be doing a similar thing to our cruise area, right. And so
online Best of the Best in cruising, right?
Basically, yeah. We probably won't call it Best of the Best, but name to be determined.
Gotta figure that one out. You're working on it.
Yeah. But cruises and tours. So we're going to be continuing to take the learnings that we've had, really elevate the presentation of the content so that it's just sexier. It's more engaging, and it's really working because we're seeing. I think our web visits are up 50%. Mm-hmm. And listen, I know a lot of more people are traveling and engaging in travel, dreaming and planning, but we're seeing some really good traffic. As we go forward, we will continue to look for ways to optimize SEO, SEM, those types of things, again, to drive more traffic to the site, which in turn, if you're a client already, great inspiration, save it to your Wanderlist. If you're not already a client and you're hitting our site, we're gonna dream, explore, see all these amazing things you can do, but ultimately we're gonna get you to a qualified professional advisor who can
make it a reality.
Book it a reality. Right. And listen, right now, more and more consumers are turning to advisors because doing it yourself has not always ended well for.
I travel a lot, and I kind of do it myself because I'm on press trips and things like that, and it is a maze because all the different COVID protocols and rules and everything else. Everybody's different, and you suddenly get rumor. Oh, you got to fill out this form. Oh, yeah, I didn't know that. And it's if you have an advisor who is up to date, I think that's crucial.
Yeah, and also on our website, accessible to our members and our partners is a CIBT tool, which allows you to put in your destination you're leaving from, the destination you're going to, what passport you hold, and it will serve up, what you need to know in terms of, health restrictions, COVID, all that kind of stuff, entry, if quarantine, no quarantine, or whatever. That information is changing rapidly, and that's every day, and that's maintained in that area. So it's a nice tool for them to be able to use, and it's instantaneous. You put the information in, and you get the advice back. So
now I couldn't let you go without talking about you've long been known for creating some really great direct mail and magazines, in fact, that go out to clients. Is anything changing with that? With Virtuoso Life, we all know is really a very great-looking publication. Is there anything going to change with that or any of your other direct mail?
Sure, great question. Virtuoso Life is a flagship for us, and it will remain a flagship for us. we've really focused on the quality of that publication, and a couple new things we've done inside the publication. And we were talking about Best of the Best, the hotel program. We did add sections in the July and September issue this year, which are Best of the Best features. And we're going to continue that. That's been really well received. So we're going to continue that in 2022 in all of our issues. So that's, we're going to continue right there. We, our direct mail and our email programs are all still very much in high demand. On the email front, we're finding increasingly, and we want to let our partners know too, of course, that, we can move faster now. We've increased our turnaround time. So we're living in a world where people need speed and they need to think tactically sometimes while they use some of our products for their branding. So some of the messages that we've been, speaking one-to-one on here at Virtuoso Travel Week with our partners is, when you're sitting in your revenue meetings and you need to flip some switches to drive some business that's a little more tactical, focused, or targeted, consider Virtuoso. We're here for you, and we're able to kind of drive that business as well. So we're getting that message out here too.
Any other marketing initiatives you want to mention that came out during this meeting or in the last few months?
Well, it's funny. There are a lot of things that come out of this meeting and through our network engagement, through collaboration teams, through our MABs, and just the engagement we have with this network. So nothing to announce just yet, but it's always really invigorating and exciting to get feedback and ideas from the network, which we're able then to take in the marketing team with the product team and really start to examine, what can be, what might be, what will we deliver in the future, because we're open ears for the feedback. And we have as Matthew says, it's a company based on co-creation. Mm-hmm. And so we've got a product design team here holding a product design lab. And they've had a lot of people coming through looking at some of the products that we're working on and testing to offer their feedback and giving us their ideas. What do you need? How can we solve for that? So we have created a robust engine inside Virtuoso to be able to quickly take, what do you want to solve for? What do you need? What kind of business, solutions do you need? Take that in and start to innovate and create with accelerated a turnaround time through the product team, new things for the future. So it's exciting. I love this stuff. So
we've both been doing this for a long time, so it's great. But it's great to see you. It's again, congratulations on your new post, your new role here at Virtuoso. Again, 2 years ago we were just sitting down and talking about it, and now you're here, and we're all here together at a great conference. Helen, I want to thank you for taking the time to talk about all the marketing efforts you're doing, Wanderlist, Best of the Best, the direct mail stuff, everything else, and it sounds that you got a great program and you got more ahead, right?
We sure do. So watch this space, and I'll hopefully see you before next year.
I hope so too. We have a few meetings left, and I think so. But definitely, I've missed you all for the last. It was literally 2 years ago this August, something like that. Great to see you again.
Great to see you. Thanks for having me.
I'm James Schillinglaw, and this is Insider Travel Report.